Sometimes you gotta let yourself fall. Maybe, just maybe, everything might be okay. If you just let yourself just fall off, little jump, do a little jump off the cliff. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you guys know what I'm saying. So, the couple months ago, I did a very fun decision. It's called you guys might have heard of it. It's called quitting your job. It's great. It's wonderful. So yeah, this is a quick, I guess, little I guess review. Quitting your corporate job. So for context, I was working in like an insurance company. The good old insurance, just working on claims. The jazz. If you don't know, it's just I just kind of have to call people, follow up on medical reports, try to see what's up, try to communicate back and forth, and the whole ordeal, as well as managing mail. I don't know. The point is that it was just a normal office job. Now now you might be asking, maybe just maybe this guy might be a little unhinged. And yes, you're right, because I quit the job even though it was relatively good. It's near my house. It was like a 15-minute drive. I had really good benefits, I think. Something like that. I didn't really use it because I have good parents, and I'm fortunate enough to really, a decent, well-off family, right? I just always have to keep in mind that I have incredible privilege to be doing something stupid like quitting my job. So the main thing is, after like 3.5 years, or it's more like 2.5 inside. I was just like, I was feeling real sad, man. I like to joke around. I felt a little bit depressed, but honestly, I have to always keep in mind that what I was going through was more so like a more emotional factor than anything else, and not necessarily a mental issue per se. I don't know. Maybe I'm downplaying it, but basically, I was feeling in a pit of despair, okay? And you might be wondering why. I got decent money. I mean, for context, I was making like, before I quit, it was like $29. Okay, I realized that was actually pretty damn good, pretty fucking good. If you like, I didn't realize how good I got it, but now I know. Now I know, because now I'm working like carts now. But that's besides the point. The main thing is that the job was like, it was pretty good, all things considered. The only thing was that there was just constant work. There was no end to it. And not only that, I'm realizing this, it probably happens for most companies. They like to put in a little too much work for the average person and cut costs. Instead of having multiple people do specific things, divide the work. They do that, but they designate like only one person to do a job that probably needs like 2 or 3 people to finish. So there's that. I think that was my only kind of real complaint. Every now and then there's some weird customer interaction, or a teammate interaction, but for the most part it was good. I was not, there was nothing wrong. However, in the back of my mind, I'm realizing I just stopped, like, air quotes, dreaming. Or rather, it's hard for me to really do something. Now, I can get into a whole slew. I'm sure I'm going to have a yap at some point about this. It's just, I felt like I could do a lot of things. In reality, I wasn't really doing much. And that's usually because of some other things like self-doubt and all that. But the key thing, the number one thing that really, it's so hard to describe this to anyone who hasn't experienced this before. It is this feeling of dread and despair it's just feeling like I was gonna be stuck there for a while, right? That's what it was feeling like. Now, granted, I'm sure people are aware. I could have just stayed at the job and I'd be fine. All right, I'd probably be making some money. I could probably afford a house. Not in this economy, but it was a good position. I had literally no reason to do the quitting, but it was that feeling. It was the feeling that I was going to be stuck there forever. Now, in hindsight, I'm realizing that I could just take it all in to maybe push through a little bit, keep accumulating more money. But no, 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 no. I still, here's the thing. Even after a couple months later, for context, it's been like 6 months since I quit my old job. Now I'm doing cart pushing, which is a whole nother thing, but I'll save that for later discussion. It is just the fact that I still don't regret the decision. Am I just stupid? No. And here's why. Now, I was feeling like if nothing changes, nothing changes. And that's kind of what it was ending up being. Because granted, I was still trying to work on things. I was trying to do some, some streaming, some YouTube videos. But fundamentally, I was not really growing that much as a person. I might be gaining a little bit skills here and there, but fundamentally, I was not really developing myself. And that was the thing that I couldn't like put my finger on until recently now, where it's just, at least this is my feeling on it, is that I need to be put in a situation where I need to continually adapt. And if I'm stuck in the singular place, it's over for me. Even if it's all good, like I've heard stories from people where they just work like an office job or on the computer, like coding, for example, and be stuck there. And even though it's not a rough job physically or that much mentally, it adds up. And I feel like that adding up turns into despair eventually. And that's the best way I can put the feeling for you guys, is that really once it starts setting in, here's the thing. I don't think people notice it, or rather, like it takes people a while sometimes to notice it, because on one hand, you're accumulating a bit more wealth, right? And and here's the thing. I'm thankful for all the time and where I put in and the opportunity I had to work at that job, but it's almost like I could have done so much more if I just try to put some more risk onto myself. Now, granted, I'm risk adverse, but at least I'm a little bit unhinged enough now, or rather, for a while I've been unhinged. It's just I prioritize safety. It's just the idea that I got to take a little bit of risk to actually, change and become someone more fundamentally different. Not just some dude who plays Marvel Rivals 24/7, Elden Ring Night Ring 24/7 as well. Like, I could be something more. I just needed to change my mindset. I needed a forced change mindset. And the only way I was going to do that, unfortunately for me, at least that my decision making led to, is I had to quit. I just had to straight up quit. And guys, let me tell you, backlash. Ooh, you get tested your mental after you do something stupid like that, because you start to realize that maybe, although people say they kind of have your back, or rather, not say have your back. I mean, let's be honest. I'm talking about family. It's like they seem to really like care for you. They do. They absolutely do care for you. It's just they don't necessarily see the other side of things, the outside of just the money, outside of just of the American dream life. It's that they don't see outside of that, and that's the thing I'm noticing. So yeah, I'm still trying to cope with it. I'm still trying, maybe that's it. And maybe I'm just wrong and I'm stupid, but I'm more of a aware. I'm more of like accepting the fact that self-aware idiots that wants to try something else and different than turning into another cog in the machine, just doing whatever. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes you got to be a cog in someone's machine. Some machines are, good, I would say. But for the most part, like, you fundamentally that you have to push for something different. For me, I don't know. I've been wish-washy. I know fundamentally I need to, tell my own story somehow, some way, whether it be through a video game, a novel, I don't know. But that's kind of that's kind of like my dream purpose in the back of my mind. It's just so damn hard to try to do that when I'm stuck in this loop of, oh, I'm good, so I'm just gonna go do whatever is comfortable and safe. So yeah, I think moral of the story, guys, is if you're gonna do something this dumb, this dumb, I think you definitely put some thought into it, because I've done plenty of thought. I think the only hindsight thing I wish I could have done maybe was maybe already have the plan of what I want to do after, which I want to move to Japan, but yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Sometimes you're gonna have to take a fall, a calculated fall, but a fall. Because if you don't, you're gonna be. To me, it felt like I was just waiting for the perfect moment for someone to show up or something to happen. So then I can go and be like, hey guys, I'm gonna save the day. Oh, I'm now gonna finally change. But it never happens. It slowly becomes your routine, where I just go to the job, come back. All right, time to inch towards something where, yes, I am trying to develop skills and whatnot, but at the end of the day, I'm still stuck in my old mindset of just, you know, let's be honest, just being like a normal, I don't know, like a addicted gamer. Best way to put it. If you just take that to its logical conclusions, I think you'll find out that, yeah, I'm a little bit degenerate, but that's besides the point. What I'm saying is, maybe, just maybe, take a fall every now and then. Maybe take a risk. Maybe try something else. Because now, see, after I've done the quitting, and here's the biggest thing that I got as a benefit. I get to finally start taking myself a little bit more seriously, in that I get to spend all those hours where I don't need to spend on my job onto myself. Now, I already did a lot more thinking before then, but like now it starts to hit. It starts to settle in, where you're like, oh, this is this is what it is now. Is I could go back to the job, or I can try pushing for something more, something different. So I would say sometimes maybe take the fall, maybe take a little leap of faith, just a little bit. Doesn't even need to be much. Not something as crazy as quitting a job, but like really like let things like drop just a little bit. You don't need to cling onto this perfect routine all the time. And obviously I didn't have a perfect routine, but it kind of ended up being that way. I would just like, right after some, good hard work, oh, let's go. I'm going to go start watching YouTube videos for 2 hours, 3 hours. And then, all right, let me go get on Marvel Rivals. Okay, now, yeah, it's just how it rolls. It just cycles over and over again. And the only way you kind of exit out of that, or at least temporarily really figure out what, the stuff that you need to change, is by adding some sort of interruption to it all. And for me, that was quitting my job. So that's great. Wonderful. Yeah. Now I'm pushing carts, guys. I'm making like 17 an hour. But it's great. It's fine. Because that's not my end goal. And this is just it's just another, I just gotta take what I can get for now. And that's fine. As long as we keep trying, keep moving forward, and then eventually I'm gonna take another jump, little leap off a cliff. At least in a good way, in a positive way. Yep. At least that's what I hope to tell myself. So yeah, I'm Ninja. Maybe just maybe take a falls every now and then.